once again to the White Flag Podcast. My name is Joe McNeil, and with me is the coolest guy I've ever met, Scott Andrews.
Hey!
True fact, the Fonz was based loosely off of Scott's life.
Mm-hmm. Even though I hadn't been born yet.
Yep. They time traveled and said, wow, this guy's really cool.
Yep.
We should make a character that acts this way.
Facts.
So, there you have it. Little did you know. We are super pumped. We had a really good time at Gencon, and we want to share some of the things that we saw, some of the stuff that's going on in the board game industry. So this episode, we're just going to kind of show a little bit of what we picked up and just talk about some of the events and stuff that we did. First, over with our friends at Van Ryder, I picked up the convention exclusive Final Girl box featuring Mort the Teenage Dirtbag, which was my nickname in high school. Yep, so this one, you're at the big con, and Mort is running around trying to kill you. If you haven't played Final Girl, it's a solo game, very difficult, but it basically pits you as the final girl, like the trope in the horror movies, facing off against whatever terrible person is trying to kill you, whether it's a chainsaw, murderer, or whatever. So this one is Final Girl's fun. I love it. I love the guys over at Van Ryder, AJ and Byron and the rest of the crew. Those guys are awesome. I love those guys, and I was excited to pick this up and some of the other promo stuff that they had there as well. So what did you pick up?
So Bandai got me. I picked up all 4 starter sets for the Gundam card game and a couple boxes of cards and the token and playmat pack. I also did a Gundam Assemble event. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know, other than the card game, next year they're going to have their own minis game featuring all the Gundams from the Gundam universe. The starters that I bought actually had 3 minis a piece in them. So I've been having fun building those and getting ready and enjoying playing the card game. My son is a big Gundam fan. I'm a big Gundam fan. So it's pretty cool. It's a fun game. We currently don't have any plans to run it in the shop, but if you would like to try it out, I have all 4 starters. Come and see me.
Yep. I picked up a few other games that we'll kind of run through real quick. First one, and some of this stuff we should be able to order through the shop. I wanted to get this one early, Temple Code. Typically for retailers at Gen Con, it's a little bit of a different, it's a different feel, because Gen Con very much is a consumer or a customer-based convention, whereas a lot of other shows might be based more for like players and stuff like that. So a lot of what they offer at Gen Con we don't typically pick up because we can order it through the shop, save a little money. But what I usually look for is like some of the Kickstarter exclusive type stuff. But this is one that I didn't want to wait for, just because it's a lot about cracking codes and using kind of a weird take that mechanism where you're choosing a card from an opponent, and then you're aligning the card to check for information. But it's very much code cracky, very thinky. Plays 1 to 4. It's about a half an hour game, but it just looked really cool, really appealing to me. Something that I really wanted to pick up. And then another one that I didn't want to wait on. I'm a big Witcher fan, so they had Gwent, which is the card game that they actually play in the game. And with Gwent, there's 6 different game modes. It plays 1 to 5 players. The art is incredible. It's very thick. It's a little bit tough to kind of wrap your mind around, but once you get the hang of it, it's really fun. But if you're a fan of The Witcher, or just a fan of like really good fantasy art, that might be something that's worth picking up. I also picked up Flashpoint Legacy, the Kickstarter version. I've been a big fan of Flashpoint. I think it's a really good co-op game. It's one of the best out there. And recently they did the Kickstarter for the whole Legacy version. And it's funny because both of my sons made the same joke when I told them about it. They were like, what, does the same house keep burning down? Hopefully that's not the case. That would be really terrible.
Is it better if a bunch of houses are burning down?
Probably not. I guess that's kind of bad also. But it's really cool because it has a spiral bound book, and it shows like there's different buildings that you're basically going through and stuff. So I don't know much about how it becomes a legacy game, but I'm very familiar with Flashpoint. I've got the Broken Token big old box for it with all the stuff in it. So this one's from Indie Board and Card. A lot of those guys at Indie Board and Card are from here in Indiana. Good dudes. We like those people. And then last but not least, I picked up Core of Discovery. I don't know much about this property, but Off the Pages Games, I've purchased 2 of their games, Mind Management, and the other one that I'm blanking on right now.
That one.
It had to do with the Kickstarter version came with a skinless boy bag. So that's part of like the comics. I actually read the comics for those. So there's comic books for these. I'll read them at some point. But it's kind of got this cool discovery mechanic where all of these spaces are covered up and you're going through and you're finding stuff as you do it. But it's basically set in the world of Manifest Destiny. This is the Ultimate Edition that has all the other tchotchkes and stuff with it. Those are kind of the highlights of what I picked up. Did you pick up anything else you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, so I went pretty much all in on the Elder Scrolls board game from Chip Theory Games. It just wouldn't be a Gen Con if I didn't buy a Chip Theory game. They have very, very high production quality. It is a giant box, that's why I didn't drag it all over here. I got a few games from All Play, some small box games. The highlight so far has been Ruins. It is from the same guy that did Mystic Vale. But in this one, it's kind of a reverse trick-taking game. You're trying to get rid of all the cards in your hand first. There's a mechanic where you can skip players. But the card crafting comes in is when you're laying down your cards, you can use the available market to tweak the cards that you've laid down so you're beating the other players to get rid of your cards. Very fun. Otherwise, I also picked up a little party game called Party Wanted, and just some other odds and ends.
Yeah, very good, very good. So as far as events go, we both played in a few events. Now, typically for me at Gen Con, I usually try and keep my daytime open with some small exceptions, and then I'll do like one event in the evening. So I got to try out the new Fate of the Fellowship, I believe is what it's called. It's the Lord of the Rings version of Pandemic. And it was really good. You got the Nazguls kind of flying around, trying to capture Frodo. You've got 4 different objectives that you're trying to meet. So you're working together, moving your guys around the board in a very sort of pandemic-y style. Meanwhile, the forces of Mordor are amassing in different areas, just like the virus is a pandemic. So that one was really fun. Another one that's under the umbrella, that's from Z-Man, but under the umbrella of Asmodee. Everyone knows I'm a big Arkham Horror fan. I was very, very excited this year. This isn't out yet, but we have copies that will go on sale once the release date hits. But this is the Arkham Horror card game Film Fatale Scenario Pack. This is every year Gen Con they have a special scenario that people play through, and they also do some cool promos. This one is, it's set in the 1920s like all Arkham is, and it has to do with going to a film set. The promo cards they made are pretty amazing. They look like the old movie posters, so I was excited about that. But more than that, Film Fatale is the first expansion that I was a playtester on. I've got to be a playtester for Arkham card game over the last year. I'm still doing other stuff that I can't speak on. But this one is the first one that I did, and I was very excited to see the finished product, to see it all kind of come into fruition. And I got to play it with some strangers, which was cool. And I knew some things, and I tried not to be that guy, but I was like, we shouldn't go there yet. We should do this. And they were like, how do you know? And I'm like, I don't know. I haven't played the scenario in a few months. Wink, wink. But anyway, I had to kind of throw it in there. I'm sorry. I'm super proud of it. It's I'm super happy to be a part of my favorite game of all time. So that was another event I did. And then I also got to do the Marvel Champions new one. It's a global one, kind of like in Arkham Horror where you're fighting the Blob and everyone is globally doing it. This one, Loki kind of takes over, and there's variants of Loki all over everywhere, and so everyone is trying to fight Loki, and that was kind of crazy. Our table, it was me and Alex and John and Cheyenne, our friends, and we killed like 5 or 6 Lokis, which every other table is averaging 1 or 2. We were just destroying it, so we helped save the day. There's that.
Nice. Yeah, and then Joe and I also both participated in some Heroescape events. They were giving out an amazing looking promo for Gencon. So I did what turned out to be a learn to play, and I just ended up teaching a bunch of people how to play. But I got in 2 quick games of Heroescape with some strangers. We all had a great time with it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. They gave you a special figure.
Yeah.
I'm super jealous of
Until later, I didn't find out. They gave me one of the World Championship versions of the mini. So
it's a Raylin. So the Raylin that they've released, she used to be a good guy with Jandar, and then she went to Utkar. So she's riding a giant saber-tooth tiger. Well, this one, she's back to Jandar. And on your base, it's silver, and it says
gold actually,
it's
and
gold.
it says World Championship.
It says World Championship. So that was something they were giving out to some of the top spots in the actual World Championship tournament.
Yeah, they also took place at Gen Con.
Yeah,
as many World Championships do.
We had a store championship here. Bob Schutte was our winner, so he got to go and represent us there. I don't believe he won. I'm pretty sure he didn't win the whole thing. So
he did not.
We're sorely disappointed in him.
Yep.
So Bob, if you're
We'll
watching,
have words with him. Don't worry about it.
Super disappointed in you. I can't believe it.
Yeah, and speaking of Heroescape, we will have more organized play coming up in the future. As soon as the next organized play kit comes out, just check our Facebook for that.
And they did announce to everyone the G.I. Joe Heroescape, which we knew about a few months back.
Yep. So that'll be exciting. I'm an old school G.I. Joe fan, so I'm looking forward to that one.
And they had some terrain packs on display, and they had like a crashed ship that you're going to be able to buy, which looked really cool.
Yeah, that looked cool. We also managed to get to the booth. If you made a Heroescape purchase, you got a set of these cool marbleized dice for Heroescape. We both picked those up. While we're on organized play, we do have a Halo Flashpoint from Mantic Games tournament coming up. The 30th of this month. I posted a link. Just follow that link and you can sign up. Our good friends of the shop, Joe Limbo and Tim, are going to be running that for us. They both have played a lot of Halo Flashpoint, play a ton of minis games. We do have an organized play kit for it, so that'll be a lot of fun. Also, I'm so excited to say, Jernigar Nights is officially on. I've already posted 2 events for this week. I'll have 2 events for every Saturday. That is the big mega dungeon crawler that you can just come out and play. Go through the mega dungeons. Don't need to buy anything. You can just come and enjoy it. It's a great fun system if you like dungeon delves. It's got a really cool door kicking mechanic where you can't see what's coming until you open the door and like, oh crap, this is what's in this room. We have some cool promo cards for that. There's online leaderboards. I have a couple prizes for whoever ends up at the top of the leaderboards at the end of it. But we'll be running that at 4 and 7 p.m. every Saturday through the end of September. There are 3 different floors. There's the tutorial, the first floor, and the second floor. This week and probably next week, I'll just be running tutorials. And after that, I'll probably vary the time slots. But if you would like to do that, just search Jernigar app on Google and you'll find it. And you can search the event. The event will then let you request a seat at that table. Each event has 4 seats. So you can come out on your own, you can come out with some friends, but it is a really, really fun combat system with colored cubes. There's a lot of figuring out what power you should use now, what cubes you should save.
It's like an action economy. Yeah.
Really fun. There's stuff you can do to help other people when it's not even your turn, but by doing so, you're going to lessen your future turns. And it's got gorgeous minis, a really cool elevated dungeon system. It's really cool. I definitely suggest coming and checking it out. Again, no purchase necessary. You can just come in and have fun. If you like it, we do have the product for sale because what you'll be playing is not any part of the actual campaign of the game. So there's no spoilers, but you can come and learn the system, take on the mega dungeon, and if you like the system, we have the base game as well as some expansions in store.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a very good, well thought out co-op as far as the system that they use.
And it's cool to see a living or a dungeon crawler like living situation, like a living card game. They're going to continually put out these seasons with all new stuff for you guys to play. The promos are cool artifact cards and weapons and stuff, and you can take a set of those home once you've gotten through the whole thing. Just a really fun game. I love dungeon crawls, and it's up there for me as far as dungeon crawls go. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I concur. So yeah, Gencon was a pretty fun deal, and we had a good time as usual. We look forward to the next Gencon. But there was a couple different controversial things in the board game industry that happened in the last couple weeks. So we're going to talk about those kind of things. We're going to be neutral. We're just going to kind of tell you what the facts are and maybe give a little bit of our opinion. We're not trying to hurt anybody's feelings or anything. But it's kind of interesting when decisions made by board game companies, whether it's something to do with the art or someone that they're supporting, makes other people upset about things. We want to make sure everybody's heard and everybody's feelings are validated. However, we know that probability-wise, when you're buying board games, when you're playing, you're not going to agree with everybody. You're not going to agree with what everybody has to say or what everybody thinks. You have no idea how many people are involved with each game that's made, what their beliefs are, what they feel about all these different things. So I think it's kind of a slippery slope when it comes to boycotting certain companies or certain games just because you don't agree. You could totally do that. Like, I think that's fine. But I think it's kind of, like I said, a little bit of a slippery slope because you have no idea what goes on behind the scenes, behind any of these. We've seen a lot of different, not conspiracies, but a lot of different drama over the years with people, doing things that they shouldn't do, game makers saying things and doing things. But one of which is CGE. They're celebrating an anniversary. I believe it's their 10-year, 20-year, something like that. But they've been redoing all their code names, which is their big flagship title. And one of the big ones that's always been a big one for them is the Harry Potter one. So they are redoing the Harry Potter one, and they received a lot of criticism and a lot of people upset because J.K. Rowling's and her opinions on the LGBTQ community, and how they didn't feel it was a good idea to basically be giving her more money. So my mentality is, I know that money doesn't go directly into her pocket per se, but it's also it's understandable if that's something that you don't wish to purchase. Let your voice be heard in that sense. But I think as a company goes, there's a lot of other people involved in that.
I have a different take on this completely than the main two takes. Stop making the same game. A lot of these companies out here just keep remaking the same game over and over.
That's true.
How many fluxes are there? How many code names are there? How many, countless other games?
Of the multiverse.
Right. I would much rather see new original properties hitting the market than a rethemed version of the same old property.
Sure.
I mean, I get it. I'm a Harry Potter fan. I'm a Cthulhu fan and I own Cthulhu Flux. I'm a Marvel fan. I have Marvel Flux. However, wouldn't it be cool if instead of Flux, they came up with some new card game that was super fun that you could play with your friends?
Yeah.
I feel like, and I think it's starting to show, I think some of these companies that have become a little stagnant in the board game industry are starting to fall away when they can't come out with something new.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get it. I'm sure business-wise, it's much easier to sell something that you're pretty sure is going to sell.
Yeah.
And not take that risk. But I mean, without that risk, I mean, there's so many games that we probably wouldn't have on these shelves because they wouldn't want to take a risk on them. So that's my feelings on the whole situation. I tend to not be political at all. So I'm not even going to mess into that, but I would much rather see an original game than just another Code Games, whatever the theme is.
Sure. No, I get that. So I wanted to kind of put that out there, that that's a thing. There's obviously, the internet's full of everyone's opinions, you know, and you know what they say about opinions. But those are out there. We just thought we'd bring it up because we saw a lot of different people talking about it, and you may or may not have heard, but that's the skinny on why that's an issue at the moment. The other one, which I think we both have the same opinion on, and I was a little bit kind of leery at first because I didn't know if this was somebody just kind of being maybe a little extra sensitive. But DeVere Games put out a game, and I can't, what's the name of this game?
It's called Aces. It was a new release at Gen Con.
And it has to do with like card face, so clubs, diamond, heart, spade.
It's supposed to be kind of like dueling, but with playing poker.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some very poor decisions were made
In the art.
In the card art.
Yeah.
We're not going to go deep into it. If you want to know, you can look it up.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to believe that in this day and age, with a lot of light on companies in the political spectrum, unfortunately, politics have just kind of invaded everything.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe they did that.
It's rough. It's really rough. And usually I kind of play devil's advocate, and I'm like, well, you know what? No, there's no excuse. This one was pretty terrible, and we won't be carrying that game.
No,
just
we will
because
not.
of that. It's really awful.
They are supposedly taking steps to rectify the situation. DeVere in the past has made some great games, and we haven't seen this. It's not like it's a thing that is constant to them. Not sure what happened. Their statement didn't say, hey, this person messed up.
Right.
They agreed that they had messed up. What I would ask is just, be civil. Some of these people online just get a little crazy.
Yeah, it just makes it worse when it's very combative, and especially when a company is making steps to move to the right thing, which CGE also, we were just talking about, has decided to donate a lot of the proceeds to some LGBTQ companies. So there's that. That's a decision that they felt like they needed to make based on the response of the people, after the Harry Potter thing. But back to DeVere, they've made a lot of good games, and usually they're right on, but they are a foreign company, and that's not an excuse by any means.
I don't think even a foreign person should have caught this one.
This is rough. This one's rough.
I mean, I'll be the first to say that history is an important part of our culture. We need to remember what happened so it's not repeated.
Right.
Especially in this case. And I get sometimes having something uncomfortable from history in a game, but this was not that. No. This was unfortunately not that at all.
It was not an homage. It was really just a lapse.
It was not a history
lapse
lesson.
in judgment, or perhaps even something more sinister. But we won't get into that because we don't know. But regardless, we won't be carrying Aces. We won't be carrying that by DeVere unless they fix the art or whatever. And even then, who knows. But anyway, there's a lot of stuff, and usually Gen Con, these big conventions, they bring out some of that stuff. The board game industry and community as it is a pretty interesting animal all in and of itself. So sometimes there's stuff out there that I think the community has to speak up and out against, and then there's sometimes I think people might get a little sensitive, or it's too far apart in opinions to where it's really hard to judge what you should or shouldn't do in a situation.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's your wallet. If you don't agree with something in a game, don't purchase that game. If you feel it's bad enough, stay away from that company. I mean, as you can see on the shelves behind us, there's so much out there for you to choose from. So my suggestion would be, don't focus on the negative. Find a new game that maybe, to replace the one that you were thinking about getting that's upset you. If you need a recommendation, come on in. We'll show you some awesome games that you might not have thought about before. And, maybe you'll find your new favorite game.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week. We've got a lot of good stuff going on at the shop. So come by, check out some games, things like that. But we're happy. Thank you all for watching and for supporting us and just keeping us going in the community. Thank you so much.